Okay, just gonna play with the new toy again. My new Palomar. Well, new to me, even though it's an old Palomar. Nope, not that guy. Palomar 350Z converted to 300A. And then the very rare Palomar HF-50. I didn't even know Palomar made these until I saw it on eBay. I see another one on eBay now. I think they want like $600-700 for it. But if anybody has any info on this, let me know, because I got it working and went through it and all, and I like it. Something rare like this, 23 channel AM only, 23 channel, tube radio. Kind of your basic, 6BQ5 for the final and modulator, crystal controlled. Not badly made. That's the rare Palomar HF-50. But anyway, that's an old toy. That's the new toy there, the Palomar Dyna Mike again. I like this mic. It's looks like a Turner Super Sidekick. I already did one video on it, but the board, the components on it are different, and they're placed a little different. Similar size board in there. Maybe I'll do one on the inside of that one day, but today just playing around with the Palomars again. I just wanted to see how this all Palomar setup went with my new toy. It's late and ain't nobody on the band, so we just put it on the dummy load, and that's gonna fire it down right quick with the Palomar HF-50 radio going into the Palomar 350Z. I got my white face on tonight. I already did one with the Palomar Skipper and the Palomar 73 radio, which I think are gray, if I remember. Gray face, silver top. But anyway, these are the white face with the blue stripes Palomar. And that watt meter has got the radio on the 20 watt scale, what's going into the amp. So it's dead key in 3.5. Audio talking maybe 6. Shh. Whistling and shushing about 7 watts is all. And over here we're on a 2kW scale on the low side of the 350Z, converted to a Palomar 300A for the most part, and 2000 watt is dead keying right at 20 or 200, the top scale. Audio talking about 250 on average on low, and last week I'm gonna put it on high, and dead keying about 275. Audio talking about 350, with 5 watts going in it, 3 watts, 5 watts. Audio, actually I like the dead key lower going into it and swing a little higher, but hey, tube radio, it is what it is. If I had a transistor, I'd probably get a transistor and put a dollar watt and dial that dead key down and let it swing more. And last we're gonna put it on peak. Audio. Shh. About 475 peak. And basically that's what you get out of sweep tubes. I keep saying it over and over and over again that a sweep tube will put out about 100 watts of tube. That's output. Somebody on Facebook was looking at the old Dentron GLA 1000 with 4 6LQ6 sweep tubes, and they saw the input was advertised at 1200 watts input, SSB at that. I'm like, yeah, input watts. Normally on an amp you get about half out, maybe a little more if the amp is well made and efficient, but basically on amps you get about half the watts out that you put into it. The rest are eaten by the tubes in heat. And that's why tubes are, rated and how many watts they can handle in heat. Because if amplifiers were 100% efficient, all the amps or watts that go into it would go out. But it doesn't work that way. They haven't designed anything 100% efficient like that. Switching power supplies are very efficient. They like 98%, but not amplifiers. Oh, by the way, I did this chart. Also, people talking about, I can get 1,000 watts out of four sweep tubes. Like, no, you can't. Maybe M2057s, but not no 6LQ6s and 6LF6s. This here is a derating curve for a dummy load, right? And amplifiers work similar to this. Believe it or not, everybody talking about how many watts can it do or how many can I put in it, and what's your recommended most watts, and there are two big hams that argue over stuff like how many watts can coax take. To me, that's a silly argument. I don't like to get in arguments like that because, again, if you're arguing over coax or dummy load or even how many max watts you can put into an amp and how many max watts you can get out and drive it and all that stuff, it's kind of a null and void argument, right? Because if you want the thing to last forever, this is time and minutes on this dummy load. But amplifiers, to me, work similar to a curve like this. It may not be as steep, or maybe even steeper. But anyway, it's a similar curve to amps. So if you're going to say, how many watts does this dummy load hold, right? Well, it'll do 300 watts for 30 seconds. It'll do like 25 watts for forever, right? And then all along here are the how many watts it do and the amount of minutes you can run the darn thing, right? To me, amplifiers, when it comes to tubes especially, they work similar to this. Let's say you want to get 300 watts out of a sweep tube. And I always say, yeah, you could do it for a minute. But you get 300 watts out of a sweep tube, you key that thing down for more than 10 seconds, it's gone, right? You back it down to 200 watts, which is still quite a bit of watts, for a sweep tube. You can key it for 30 seconds, unkey it, let it cool off and all that stuff, and it may last a week or two. But to me, to argue like what's the max watts, and how hard can I run it, or I seen a guy get 1,000 watts out of this or 2,000 watts out of that, yeah, you can, but there's no possible way for you to get real triple, what a thing's rated for, watts out of anything, any amplifier. And it's going to last long. Dentron, I think I said this before, they juiced up the filaments. So did Black Hat in the driver of the JB2000. It's got a single audio tube, 6CA7. And the audio tube was made for 6.3 volts on the filament. And they run it at 7.5. So they juice up the filament volts. So they cook in the tube, the filament, which gives off the electrons when you heat it up. So they superheating it. And then they got about 1200 on the plate of that 6CA7 in that. So they killing it on the top side too. And that amp will eat a tube. Dentron juiced the filaments on all their amps. The Dentron 2000 with the 8877 and the 8874s that they use. Even the 1200 with the 4 sweep tubes. That's why they rated for 1200 watts input, because they are killing the tubes. And if you buy that amp and you try to get that max out of it, you'll do it for a little while, then you're gonna kill it. I don't run my stuff like that. So, you know, people ask, "Oh, what's the maximum? I seen a guy do this, or I seen a guy do that." Yeah. It can be done, surely, but it won't be done for long. You know, that's like taking a car engine and pouring nitrous in it, right? You can do it. You get crazy horsepower out of that thing for a while, and then things gonna blow. It's the same with amplifiers. It's no cheating. There's no, you know, possible way you can cheat. Just like that dummy load, you can't cheat that curve. You know, over time, you overdo it, things gonna die. I'm gonna die fast. All right. That's it for this one, and I was supposed to be doing my dynamite, but I went off on a rant. But anyway, I like my new toy. That's it for the dynamite. Bye.